Let's finish off our first program completely. Let's run this program. So when I press F5, my program runs. It says please enter your password. We're typing in the password. Let me in, pressing enter. And what we know now is that the computer has stored the word let me in the variable password. So if I type password and press enter, it prints let me in. Now we can make the computer do that itself. So I'm going to close the shell. Let's go back. Let's think just for a second before I do it. Do you think you could actually do this? Do you know what you've got to do? Okay. So I'm going to type print because that's what I want to do. I want to output something to the screen. And then I'm going to type password, which is exactly what I did when I was in the shell. So print password. Now, there's a bit of a difference between this line and this line. What is it? Okay, we'll come back to that later. So for now, I'm going to save my program. I think we're on 104 now. There we go. .py, don't forget that. And then I'm going to run my program, F5. Please enter your password. Let me in. Press enter and it prints out let me in. There is a little bit of a difference between this version of printing out and the last one. If I type password here, notice that let me in is in speech marks, whereas when I just printed out from the program, it printed the password without speech marks. So you need to just sort of understand how the shell is working and what is happening when you just type things. There is a method that we can do. I can actually use this line of code, print password, right here. Print password. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to have let me in without quote marks, or do you think we're going to have let me in with quote marks? Let's find out. There you go. So when we use the word print, it just literally prints the word between the quote marks. When we try to have a look inside a variable to see what it contains, it tells me it contains a string consisting of the word let me in. So that's a bit of a complicated explanation for what is happening, but nevertheless it's okay. One last thing. Notice that print here is in purple, not orange. That doesn't mean anything. What is happening here is that Python has an error in its language. That really should be orange, it shouldn't be purple, but because we sort of placed it after something purple, it becomes purple. Don't worry about that. What you should notice is that it is a different colour to the variable or whatever we're trying to print after it. Okay. Sometimes it'll be orange, sometimes it'll be purple. Nothing to worry about, it's just Python. Okay, so we now have a fully working program where we've got some output, we've got some input, and we've got some output again. In this output, we outputted a string. The correct term is string literal. In this one, we outputted a variable. The order of these is really important. So for example, I cannot have print password. Let me just take it from there and change the order of my program. There you go. Oh, it's gone orange now. I cannot have this. Print, please enter your password. Print password, password equals whatever is typed in at the keyboard. Try to think what's going to happen with this program when I run it. It gave me an error, and it gave me a real Python error. We've seen this before. Name error, name, password is not defined. So what it's really saying is that on that line where print password was, which is that line, it doesn't know what password is. We didn't put anything into it. You've got to think of a variable like a cup. A cup can hold anything. It can hold tea, it can hold water, it can hold coffee. It's always going to be a cup. It's going to be the same cup. But we've got to put something in it. What this is saying is that we didn't put anything in our cup, and our cup was called password. We didn't put anything in there whatsoever. When we tried to drink from it or pour it out, it says, well, there's nothing in it. It's not defined. There's nothing in it. So that's exactly what it means. So password is not defined. There was nothing in password. There's my error line that it thought was the error, and it's trying to help me. It's saying it's in this file, C coding 104.py, and we can see that up here. And it's saying it's on line 2. Okay, so there is line 1, line 2. Okay, and trace back just means, oh, I've had a look at what the error is, and I got a list of things, and this is the most recent one. There could be more, I don't know. So there we go, we've written our first program, we've made it work. Your turn.